Test. All right, we are rolling. This is going to be a long one because this video, I could have probably easily broken it into two, but it just seemed like a nice way to finish all the official original content of Dark Souls. This is a weird situation where I went to sleep last night where I ended the video on a mistake or a poor boss fight, and that just annoyed me so badly. It actually got me up, and this is a Saturday, and I'd only been asleep like 4.5 hours. I was still real fucking tired, but I was so irritated by the poor showing, I just couldn't, I couldn't rest until this boss was down because it was such an easy, obvious solution for getting it. So what I've done is I've gotten up, I'm totally sleep deprived and delirious, and I finished all the remaining original content of Dark Souls. I'm going to do my commentary, I'm going to upload this fucker to YouTube, and when I get up, I will continue with the DLC. But now, it is time to go take on probably the least loved or least memorable zone in all of Dark Souls. There is a general consensus among many fans that the end of Dark Souls 1 is not so cool, that they basically, whether it's due to a rushed production schedule or bankruptcy of ideas, but for whatever reason, the first half of the game is just this extraordinary masterpiece. And then you get to one of the few remaining zones, the Lost Izalith or whatever it's called, and it's just like, this is your last zone that you're going to have us do before we take on Gwen? It just seems really anticlimactic, and it also has a boss that feels like it's from a completely different video game. It doesn't even feel like a Dark Souls boss. But it is part of the content, so we must do it, especially because our buddy Solaire, his quest line is continued down here. There's a ton of souls to be had, and we can't. Anyway, speaking of which, I just ran by the piece of gear that I came down here for. From up there, I saw there was a little white glowy thing. I was like, oh, I need to go down there, and I ran right past it. Now I'm looking like, well, where is it? Where did it go? Well, it's because you ran past it, you dumb motherfucker. If I get a little sweary or potty mouth, it's because when I'm sleep deprived, my vocabulary disappears. And when your vocabulary disappears, you tend to fill in the gaps with foul language. But I'm sure we're all grown-ups here, and you won't care. And if you're not a grown-up, you'll get an education. So this is part of the weird network of routes that goes down in from, like, you know, actually, does that connect? I wonder if that connects to the Great Hollow at all. That'd be really, really cool if it did. I don't think it does, though. Anyway, big-ass tree. We're going to be fighting a giant tree boss later on that somehow through the lore, I looked it up last night, and it made zero sense. Which Beatrice... Actually, I can't even try to articulate it. Apparently, we're going to fight this big giant creature who's part of the origins of pyromancy. But it doesn't make a lick of sense. There's some Dark Souls lore that is cool as shit, and there's some where you're just like, you know what, y'all are just making this up as you go. Which, granted, all fiction is technically people just making shit up as they go, but some is better constructed than others. But here is a crucial moment. This wall right here you can only go through if you've maxed out the Chaos Order or Daughters of Chaos, whatever the hell it's called, the place where I turned into 30 humanities. And if you've done that, and you're still in the Covenant, you have to still be in the Covenant, and the Spider Girl still has to be alive, this door will drop. And then when this door drops, there's this giant maggot in here. And this maggot, you've got to kill the red one. Because what he's going to do, he's going to get on Solaire's face. That sunlight maggot helmet I just got is a really cool helmet because it gives me illumination and reveals secret walls. Secret walls, I'm talking like a 3-year-old. But if I hadn't have killed him, where Solaire would spawn around the corner at a campfire, when you get to him, he'd have this maggot on his head, and he'd be like, oh, and he goes crazy and he attacks you, and you have to kill Solaire, and it sucks. Now, because I have eliminated that possibility, he will appear down here just acting depressed, which should make him available in the last fight. My first playthrough, he was available on the last fight against Gwen. On my second playthrough, he wasn't, but I looked it up. Apparently, sometimes, even if you do Solaire's questline correctly, he will glitch, and he still won't work out, but we have done what we need to do. Now, this bridge, you got a big-ass demon on here. It is the best place in the game to farm the demon mats, because unlike the other ones, this one will respawn. He's a little tougher, has a little more health, but he will keep on respawning. So yeah, if you want to farm some mats for your boss weapons, this is the place to do it. Demon Titanite. That's the mat that I was trying to remember the name of. So this is the big final zone of the game, which you can also just call Colossal Disappointment. And I guess I shouldn't be so hard on it. It's got some cool bits. I mean, you've got the main end of Siegmeyer's quest in here, which is pretty cool. But if you compare this area to like the Undead Berg and all the different zones that are connected to that, it's just a non-event. It's not exciting. I don't know what I'm looking for. I kept thinking I was going to see like an NPC of some kind in here, but I just have weird memories. Because this zone is so hard to, or so far away and so hard to get to, you don't spend a lot of time down here. So yeah, it's not like you memorize the area. So if I occasionally seem slightly unsure of myself, it's just because I want to make sure I look around every corner, get all the gear, all the chests, all the souls, all the good stuff. These things are annoying, but they're pretty damn easy. The only way they'll kill you if you stand right in front of them and just let them breath weapon you, or if you allow yourself to get overwhelmed or you have too many of them around you at once, because you can't roll through them. And if they all start breathing simultaneously, you are going to have some serious problems. So be careful with the falling floor. That will totally fuck you up and ruin Siegmeyer's quest if you do it, because you're going to fall down to the pit with all these poison fuckers. What you need to do is be very careful and very deliberate at this point, because Siegmeyer's quest is very fragile at this point. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I fucked it up twice before at this juncture. So what you need to do is talk to him once, not twice. Talk to him twice, because you got to wake him up and let him know what's happening. But if you talk to him a third time, he's going to jump down in there and fight, which you don't want, because what you want to do is these motherfuckers have poison attacks, and if they gang up on Siegmeyer, they're going to kill him. So what you do is you kill 3 of them, and then you get one really, really weak, so that when Siegmeyer drops down there to fight, he can take it out. But Siegmeyer's tired of being saved by you and helped by you. He wants to help you out. So you got to give him that opportunity to continue his storyline. But you got to do it in a way where he doesn't die, and you got to do it in a way where you don't accidentally hit him and get him pissed at you. The first time I played it through, I just let him run down there and die. The second time I played it through, I threw a lightning bolt at one of the bad guys. The lightning hit the bad guy and the water around him, which charged the water, which hit Siegmeyer, which made him attack me. And so anyway, the quest was fucked again. This time I'm being as careful and delicate as humanly possible. But yeah, I hate these bad guys. They're fucking disgusting looking, and they spit glop at you and just not down. They're also so far away I can't lock on the spells, but at this point I'm pretty good at just positioning myself in the right direction. So this final one, I want to be super careful and shoot one spell. But then the reason I bought all those arrows in the previous videos, because I knew I was going to do this. I wanted to get him down as weak as humanly possible before queuing Siegmeyer to join the fight. I also need a few arrows for the stupid tree boss fight in this zone, because the boss, like I said, doesn't even feel like it's from Dark Souls, and it's a ridiculous boss fight in terms of what is involved, because it's not 99 out of 100 times in Dark Souls, things are based on skill and skill alone, and if you die, it's because you fucked up. But the boss in this zone, there is luck involved, and that's not the spirit of Dark Souls, so I have no problem whatsoever cheesing him, and I mean, technically you still have to beat him, but I'm going to show you a solution for killing the boss with the fewest amount of headaches possible. So this is him talking about how he wants to try to help me out and give me a chance to escape. So he's going to dive into the fray and throw down. But one thing I forgot is that while it's going to be easy for him to kill that thing, because there's only one of them, there is another one around the corner, and all this water's poisoned. Siegmeyer seems immune to it, so it's no big deal. But he is not ready to talk to me yet because of this piece of shit over yonder. And I need to... Basically, I started to panic now. I was like, oh my god, am I going to fuck it up for a third time? Because Siegmeyer, see how much he... I mean, yeah, he got hit pretty hard with that first swing. Luckily, the motherfucker went down, and now I can talk to Siegmeyer. This is not the end of the quest, but that was the most difficult part of the quest. This is going to send him back into a little nappy time, and I can continue or resume his quest line the next time I'm at Firelink Shrine. So, hard part's over on a quest line that I've been wanting to do. I mean, I first met Siegmeyer, I guess, was it spring of 2011 when Dark Souls came out? I remember meeting him outside of Sin's Fortress, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I took a couple-year break from Dark Souls where I didn't clear anything, and kind of forgot who he was. But now, after 5 long years, I'm going to finally do Siegmeyer's quest. Awesome mats all around here. I mean, at this point in the game, every time you find a soul or a mat, it's pretty much all awesome. It's all good stuff. If you find a spell, it's an awesome spell. So, yeah, from here on out, just pressing the gas pedal to the floor and fighting challenging bosses, finding them awesome gear, trying to get as powerful as humanly possible. So I'm just going to be a beastly fucking sorcerer for all is said and done. That is a stairwell that takes me out of all this poisony glop, but I don't want to take it quite yet because I'm not through exploring down here. Just for the sake of keeping my sanity, I put on the rusted iron ring for while I'm navigating down here. It just allows you to run through the poison a little faster. I mean, it's not like there was enough poison water in Blighttown to satisfy the people of Dark Souls. They got to give you another zone where the entire floor is poison water, but it's no big deal. We will endure. I don't even feel like putting on a moss to get rid of it because I'm just going to get poisoned again, so I'm just going to run around. But anyway, Red Titanite Slab, that is a crucial mat if you plan on upgrading any flame weapons to the max. So I'm glad we have that because I still might upgrade a flame weapon just for shits and giggles, but I'm starting to run low on some of the other mats you need to level things up, like Titanite chunks and stuff like that. So I might have to farm a little bit in between videos. We shall see. So I'm just doing one last quick look around to make sure I've done everything down here. I recommend taking this side up in terms of the exit because it gives you access to one more mob and one more piece of treasure. You don't have to do it, but I am OCD and like to get everything. So, god damn, these guys are gross. Look at those eyeballs just popping. They are so fucking disgusting. In terms of sheer gross factor, Dark Souls wins over the other Dark Souls anytime. I remember to take off my rusted iron ring. That's progress. I guess man can continue to evolve in strange and wonderful ways. After 100 times where I forgot to swap out my sorcery ring after getting out of the water. But another chunk. Once again, if you're a fire person, that this is a good spot to come down to. But now this area is officially done, so I can climb one of these tree roots out of here and never come back to this horrible little cesspool, and I can focus on clearing the rest of Izalith, which is not that big of a... It's actually big in size, but not very big in terms of all the areas you need to explore and find all the gear. There's only a few little spots where there's anything to be had. There's actually huge, ginormous areas of lava that have nothing for you except for these just big, stupid, like, half-decayed dragons. It's like an entire zone where... If you remember Painted World of Ariamis, there was a big giant dragon on the bridge, and we killed him, and afterwards, like, the lower part of his body remains, and every time you want to use the shortcut, you have to hit it, and it kind of stands up. It's like an entire zone populated by those lower torsos, which is a really fucking stupid creature design for some reason. Like, oh, no, we're not going to give you a whole dragon. We're going to give you half dragons. We're just going to give you their legs. But for whatever reason... This must be like where dragons' legs go to hell because they're all around. But if you could fight them all day and explore you like, you're not going to find shit. Up here is one of the final appearances of Kirk. I still have not gotten Kirk to do his first appearance down in the depths, but I will try and get that to happen. But there's a good chance I might not be able to get Kirk to appear in the depths because I killed the boss before I got him to appear. And sometimes if you kill a boss in a zone, you can no longer summon people or be summoned, or actually no, you can no longer summon. Anyway, I can't remember the exact rules because it kind of varies from game to game or zone to zone. But when a boss is down, sometimes it fucks up the invasions and that sort of thing. So obviously I messed up on the depths by killing the gaping dragon before getting Kirk to appear. But only thing you get, once you kill Kirk 3 times, his armor will appear in that hallway down near where the big spider chick is to be a part of the Chaos Servant Covenant. Down at the end of that hallway, Kirk's spike armor will appear, and it's a pretty badass set. If you're planning on doing PvP, anyway, that's the gate to the boss. If you're planning on doing a lot of PvP, that armor is awesome because every time you roll around, you just shred people. And yeah, to this day in Dark Souls 3, people love wearing that spiked armor. One more of these bastards, and my Great Soul Arrows are just wrecking them. My Great Soul Arrow is my second weakest spell, and it's slamming people. More Red Titanite. Goddamn, this is just the Red Titanite zone. And another very powerful pyromancy spell. So yeah, if you're into pyromancy and flame weapons and everything, this zone may suck, but it's going to complete or round out a lot of the corners in which you don't have. La 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 la. What am I doing? I think at this point I'm going to run. Yeah, at this point I decided to turn back, and I'm going to show the alternate entrance into Izalith, because you have seen the shortcut from being part of the Chaos Servants, but now it's time to show what happens if you said, you know what, I'm not investing 30 humanities into the friggin' Chaos Servants. I'm just going to go the normal way. Well, then I'm going to show that way now. And plus I got 50,000 souls. I might as well level up. So, gonna run on back. All this lava I'm gonna be running through here soon. So you will definitely want to have your lava ring at the ready. And down here at the bottom stairs, you see here's Solaire. He is demoralized and he's low in spirit and he's kind of lost all direction. He's a very depressed son, bro. And you can talk to him as many times as you want, and I do. And I even come back to him at one point, talk to him again, because I'm just trying to make sure that he will continue on his quest. Because I want to use him on the Gwen fight, because it'll just mean I will have completed 2 major NPC quests in this playthrough, his and Siegmeyer's, which just gives me a greater feeling of achievement and accomplishment. It's cool when you can't do everything in every Dark Souls playthrough. The key is you got to figure which quest lines and which paths you want to take. But I just like to always make sure that once I start something, I finish it. Like Dark Souls 3 has this one huge, mega, massive NPC quest that allows you to turn into a hollow and like get married and all this weird shit, and it's a huge pain in the ass to do it and do it correctly. I did it on my sorcerer playthrough, and I don't know if I'll ever do it again, because what's annoying about it is that for like 90% of your playthrough, your character looks like complete crap because you are stuck hollow. And as I've illustrated before or drawn attention to in the past, I like my characters to look cool. If my character doesn't look cool, I'm not enjoying the game. Like, well, just put on a helmet. Well, it's like, what if you're a spellcaster and you're wearing that crown of dusk or dust crown, whatever it is? Then I have to look at my stupid face in hollow form the entire time. So I don't know if I'll do that questline or not. I don't know. I'm emotionally torn as to whether or not I want to do it. But we shall see, because here's the thing, when you do that quest line, you are stuck as hollow until you start New Game Plus, and then you can clear your face up and look normal again. But it's like I said, like 90% of your playthrough, your character is not fun to look at, which for me dramatically detracts from my enjoyment of the game. I know I should not give a fuck, but that is just the way it is. All right, so here's that entire room of dragon legs. Once again, I have no idea why they don't have heads. This is just a silly room. It's filled with lava. It's only a couple of items to snag here and there, and a few secret walls. And we're just going to get through it as fast as humanly possible. They don't have a huge aggro range, but they will come after you. And when they come after you, they've got a ton of health. So you definitely don't want to just go running around willy-nilly, taunting them over to you, because that's no fun. So, but the main 2 attractions are these 2 giant like columns, not columns, but like kind of stone areas where there's some gear and some hidden rooms, and you're just surrounded by these motherfuckers. But my very first playthrough, I came down here, and I remember, and because I was a dex build, I just had this insane black bow of Ferris, and I remember I just sat here for like 30 minutes just shooting arrows in all directions, killing these motherfuckers, just trying to see if anything special would happen if they all died, and yeah, nothing happened. It was just a giant, colossal waste of time and arrows. Although, I guess it probably got me some souls. Ground shakings, one of them's chasing me. I'm not afraid of you, legs. You don't have a head. Soul of a Great Hero obviously is well worth getting. I think Soul of a Great Hero is 20,000 souls, so yeah, at that point, that's like half a level right there. So yeah, just shooting them in the gooch a few times. Some people call it a runway, some people call it a landing strip, some people call it the taint, some people call it the nacho, some people call it the gooch, but you know the area I'm talking about. It's not your nuts, not your ass, it's that area in between. So I shot him in the nacho a few times. Or taint, you know, taint nuts, taint ass, taint equipment. I mean, there's a million different variations on it. The gooch, I think that's what they call it in the Jackass movies. They're all pretty gross words because it's probably the least attractive part of a man's body, the gooch. It's just hard to keep that area in shape, and it's hard to keep it clean. It's hard to keep it well groomed. It's just a really, really unattractive area. Why am I talking about the gooch in a Dark Souls walkthrough? who knows? It's a sign of sleep deprivation. But I'm going to power through and finish this fucking video. That was me slipping off wood because I'm stupid. Now, eating fire. Once again, I'm just fucking up. That's alright. On this area is a hidden wall that I need to find. And it's got a bonfire because the boss of this zone, there is some cheese factor. And if he kills you, you're going to be pissed. And you're not going to want to run all the way back from the long way. So you definitely want to get the shortcut. And be prepared to run back and forth a few times. The first time I killed the boss, I was just being criminally stupid. And it took me a very long time to get him down. So I was glad to have the shortcuts set up. But hopefully we will get through this time with a little bit more, dignity, a little more pro gaming. And I don't know why. I think I've hit all there it is. Finally, the shortcut. So this guy you definitely want to have available. I've got a humanity. I figure I'm probably going to die, so I might as well just spend the humanity here just to have the extra flask just in case. Although you don't need flasks for the boss. That's the thing is like this boss, you either kill him or you don't, but you're not going to spend a lot of time healing. Or if you do heal, you're probably going to spend a flask or two at most. Soul of a great hero. That gives you 20,000. That's a lot of souls. But yeah, moving right along, leveling up like a beast. I mean, what's crazy is that here near the end of the game, the rate at which I level up is accelerating as opposed to slowing down. You would think, oh, and now I need 40,000 experience or soul or 50,000 souls. It's going to take a long time, but it's just between the bosses and the drops, I'm just leveling up like a madman. So I very well might surpass 100 on this playthrough. We shall see. I have no idea, but strength's 13. It's almost 14. I'm almost ready to wield my great scythe. Although it occurred to me also, I'll still have to spend some points on my endurance because even though I'm able to hold the great scythe, it doesn't mean I'm able to do so and still run fast. I'm much more keen on being able to run and dodge fast than I am on swinging the great scythe. I mean, the great scythe's cool, but for me, if I can't move fast as a sorcerer, there's just no point because yeah, I like to. If I can't move, then I can't fight, and if I can't fight, then this is going to be a very, very painful, annoying walkthrough. So it's time to get the remaining items around this area. Once again, this area just gives me no joy or excitement in exploring it. And the routes are kind of weird. Sometimes you get stuck behind them, sometimes you don't. It'd be better if you had some interesting things to fight instead of these giant. What the hell are these? I mean, I feel like they're almost like children's cartoon characters, but these are like the least imaginative mobs they've ever come up with. These floating, sliding, stupid like rock statue guys who breathe fire. I just think they are atrocious. Just a total, utter lack of imagination. Oh, well, what are we going to do? We can't think of something to have. We're just going to have a ball, and it's going to float toward them. Like, yeah, sounds great. Design that. Like, other areas, you have, like, big-ass knights with, like, shields and halberds, or you're fighting dragons. You're fighting all sorts of cool shit. No, this is the last area of the game. You're going to fight rock balls. Yeah, just... And I mean, granted, I'm shitting on the game, but as someone who thinks Dark Souls is one of the all-time greatest games ever from any era on any platform, I'm allowed to talk the occasional shit because it all comes from a place of love. I mean, if I was to put together a list of my all-time top 5 favorite gaming experiences on any platform from any era, Dark Souls would definitely be on the list. As far as the other games are concerned, what would those be? Definitely World of Warcraft, because I'll never have that experience again where I invest a couple years into just a digital society in which I become like a part of the community and treat it essentially like a job. So that was an experience I'll never repeat. And I spent so many happy hours, and all my weird kind of networked gaming memories and experiences are all from World of Warcraft. But what would the other ones be? I mean, for pure nostalgia and childhood, kind of like my first early RPG experiences, one would have to either be Legend of Zelda or Metroid, just because those were my first two like RPG experiences on a home console that I just played again and again and again and again. I'll probably pick Metroid between the two just because Metroid's music is so cool. And also, Metroid's one of those games where you can revisit it decades later, and it's still cool. It's still got this weird atmosphere, and I love exploring that environment. It's still hard as fuck. So yeah, Metroid's awesome. What else would there be? probably have to go with at least another computer game. Probably Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn. I've always been a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan, and that particular game I probably played more than any other in terms of computer games that adapt the D&D experience to the computer format. Baldur's Gate 1 was cool, took it from like level 1 to level 8. And Baldur's Gate 3 was kind of cool, but you got so powerful, the game got so easy. I guess if you know what you're doing, you get so insanely powerful that you lose that flair for the adventure of it. That item's kind of a pain. It's not even worth getting. You don't need any more Rings of Sacrifice, but I'm grabbing it because I'm grabbing every item. So what would that be? So let's count them off. Dark Souls, Metroid, World of Warcraft, Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn, and the last game would probably have to be a strategy game. It would either be Warcraft 3 or Civilization 5. Probably Warcraft 3. I think I've spent more time in Warcraft 3. I don't know, but I would have to do some more thinking of that. This is me just running back. I was feeling a little paranoid that I hadn't done everything I needed to do with Solaire to make sure that I would guarantee he appears. Just because I've been down here so few times, I just don't remember it all perfectly. So I'm just fast forwarding, running back down. He's still just chilling here. He's depressed. It's like, oh. So anyway, hopefully he will be there when I fight Gwen. But if not, I will kick the fucking shit out of Gwen anyway, because I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm going to use the little mound in the middle of the room to cheat, and I'm going to dodge around it, and I'm going to be shooting him with really, really fucking powerful spells, and he's going to hate it, and he's going to die fast. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be way more difficult to kill Artorias and Calamite and Menace. The 3 bosses of the DLC are all very challenging, fun, exciting bosses, and definitely some of the best bosses in the entire Dark Souls franchise. So, anyway, this is how you kill this last boss. Drop down. First, you're going to go right. Now, you got to be careful because the floor will drop out. He likes to swing his arms and hit you, but just hold your shield up and run. Don't fall through. Once you have seen the floor fall away once, you'll know where you can run. You just walk over here, hack your way through the bubble. You go inside. You kill this little, like, glowy area. And he goes, oh! And he grows a big, like, flame arm. Oh, he's such a stupid boss. I can't stand this boss. I feel like it's like a boss from like a late 90s like PlayStation game in terms of like how he looks and how you fight him. There are no other bosses in Dark Souls. It's like they assigned this boss to a completely different team. It's like there's no rolling, there's no timing, there's no anything. It's just like this big challenge, but it bears no resemblance to any other Dark Souls game. It looks like a wooden Cthulhu almost. Anyway, so now you log out and back in, which, wait a second, what are you going to do? You're going to have to start the boss over. No, you don't. You're just going to appear back outside the fog gate, but that bubble will still be down, and his new flame arm will still be out. So he's stronger now, but now we're going to go to the left. And from the left, there is a safe zone where he can't touch you, but you can shoot arrows and get rid of the next bubble. The key is just keep your shield up because he's going to be swinging. And you want to get your endurance back in between swings if you can, and never walk in the middle of any big open area of stone because those areas are not gone away, as you can tell. So just stay by walls or stay by roots and you're fine. So this little spot right here, he will not hit you, he cannot touch you, he won't shoot you, he won't do anything. And it's kind of hard to tell what you need to hit and how to get in there, but you shoot enough arrows at the force field, kind of the lower part. See how it's kind of like yellow and cloudy toward the bottom? I think that's what you need to hit. So I just keep shooting arrows into that kind of glowy mass until eventually he's like, oh, and his arm disappears and gets his other flame on. I think now I'm starting to aim a little lower. I think I'm hitting the right shit. Got him in the gooch. The tree gooch. So anyway, now he's pissed. So another thing disappears and another thing's going to grow. And now is when the fight gets super cheesy and actually kind of hard because he swings a lot. And what you have to do is you have to drop down underneath him and kind of go into, you have to go into his gooch and kill this little glowy maggot thing. Which, once again, I have no idea what this fucking boss is. It's just, the less said about it, the better. This is one of the few really, really black marks on an otherwise perfect game. Why does this boss exist? It makes no sense. So now you're going to go down into the middle. This part's super hard because he's going to be swinging a lot, but you have to drop down into this pit onto a root and run up into his taint to kill him. And if you stop, he'll hit you with flame attacks. But if you move too quickly, you'll roll the wrong way and fall and die, or he'll just swat you into a hole. So you got to move forward until the hole appears. And once again, if he double hits you, then you're going to take a lot of those swipes into a ton. So that's the hole. You want to run off this little ledge part that's sticking out. That part, if you just walk off it, don't roll off it, but if you just walk off the end of that, you will land where you need to land. But that piece of shit, he fucking swatted me into the hole. That's what I'm talking about, like the luck. It's not a skill, contest of skill. It's just, if you keep walking off that ledge, eventually you will land on the root. And as long as you keep moving, it'll be fine. He will keep blasting the flame attacks down there. But if you just walk up and then roll through a bunch of little twigs, then you'll get to the maggot and you get to kill it. I have no idea what the maggot's connection is to the giant tree thing, but we're going to kill him and move on with our lives. So, back to the fog gate. I got real tired of this. First time I played this guy, or fought this guy way back when, I kept trying to run off the edge and jump onto the root, and I just kept missing and missing and missing, and it was just so frustrating. So, like I said, you just want to walk off that ledge at the end, and you just want to just fall onto the root. Flames, that's not good. These flames will definitely fuck you up. Wait, let him swing. And I got lucky because he decided to slam instead of swing, and that allowed me to walk up it. So now you can just roll or swing your way through these twigs and get to the nacho of the bed of chaos. What the hell does that even mean? Bed of chaos. I mean, it's such a stupid name. Anyway, there's the little maggot thing, and I hit him, and he dies in one shot. Yay, great news. Yahoo, we did it. But I do want to go back and get my souls. And he's worth like 60,000 souls. He's worth a ton of souls. Let's see. How much is this bastard worth? Yeah, light the bonfire, because otherwise you have to die to leave. Yeah, worth 60,000 souls. That is cray-cray. But in order, I can't teleport back to where I was for the shortcut. So what I have to do, now I've got strength 14. I can now wield my great scythe. Yay! I need to teleport back up to the Daughter of Chaos in order to take the shortcut back down and get my souls back. 13,000 souls is probably just high enough that it's worth coming back. But yeah, I'm just putting on the great scythe because I want to see it. Hey, look how weird my legs look in this room. When you're like kind of like at the weird like curved earth, it's like my legs look like they're made out of like spaghetti noodles. It's really strange. Anyway, there's no way to get back over and across because that route, if you try to walk down it, or at least I don't think there is, you just fall to your death. So like I said, I gotta walk out of here or walk back to this bonfire, teleport back up, and the closest place I can think of to teleport is the Daughter of Chaos, because it's the elevator down and from the elevator. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of fast forwarding because there's no reason on earth for even to watch all that bullshit. Quilag's domain, take the elevator down. I love that great side. It's so cool looking. It is just pure death. Granted, it's definitely more pure death if you're a dex build. If you're a dex build, it's just like, ugh. I think it's got an S scaling. But when I put on a buff on it, it's going to change it. But technically, I'm not even going to get the Great Scythe experience because you only get the Great Scythe experience if you max it out to plus 15 back, and take your dex to like 60, and then it's just like zaga, 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 and it just is an unstoppable thing of destruction. I like the moveset, so I wanted to play with it some. The reality is, I'm a sorcerer, and I'm just not going to get to have that much fun with it. Maybe in hindsight, I probably should have thought about going for a big-ass, like, Chaos Blade or something like that, but whatever. We're just racing toward the finish line in this game now to get back to Dark Souls 3, so there we go. Just walk off, and we are out of here. So, we got a couple things we can do now to wrap up the game. We need to finish Siegmeyer's quest, which is all just talking and walking. We got to kill the bridge red drake thing from the opening of the game. And we need to kill Gwyndolin. So we're going to do all those things and clean my plate so that I can just dive into the Ulasil Township in the next video. But I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. I had a little kind of choice, or anxiety of too many choices about what to do next. And I think what I do is I upgrade my weapon a bit. What do I decide upon? Also, upgrading the weapon is a little weird because I'm going with a lightning weapon just because I want to have something that's not magic. So my choices were either fire or lightning because I don't have any other stats that are high enough to do a decent upgrade. So with lightning, you take your weapon to +10, and then you have to take it to the big giant, like huge fucking blacksmith in Orlando in order to continue to take it up, to convert it into lightning and then upgrade it to lightning. I think +5 is the max. So now I'm back in Orlando, which it actually kind of worked out because I was coming to kill Gwyndolin anyway. So the fact that I decided to upgrade my scythe to a lightning scythe means I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by coming back here and upgrading my weapon and then taking out Gwyndolin. Sorry, taking out Guinevere first, the illusion, and then taking on Gwyndolin. And I was doing the reading. Apparently Gwendolin's a dude. I thought Gwyndolin was a chick. I don't feel like fighting this guy because if I go down there and start swinging the great scythe, I might hit the blacksmith, and I just don't feel like killing them when I need them. And if you kill the vendors or the blacksmiths, they're gone until the next playthrough. So yeah, I gave him Crystal Ember. I'm not going to make any crystal weapons because crystal weapons are for strength and dex builds. But I need to buy some mats. I'm low on large titanite shards in order to get this fucker to +10 so that I can turn it into a lightning thingamabob. Great scythe. Where is the weapon? There it is. Great scythe +10. Boom. And now I can change it into a lightning scythe. So yeah, lightning great scythe. Which what it does when you change a weapon that is like attuned to strength or dex or another stat, and you turn it and give it like a weird buff like that, it changes the stats. Like it changes the scaling, which really confused me when I first started playing Dark Souls 2 because I thought, oh, I've got this like great sword with S scaling for strength, and now I can add like another thing onto it and do even more damage. It's like, no, you've added a buff now, which changes the weapon fundamentally, so now it's going to scale off our different ability score. Now, I wasted a lot of mats and a lot of time struggling with that. It basically took me a long time to realize you don't need to level up a character to 200 and max out several stats. You just need one really, really high stat that you can use for your damage, whether it's faith, dex, intelligence, or strength. Once you've got that one stat, you can kind of build your whole tune around that. So, you know, basically what it means is at around a level anywhere between 100 and 150, depending on where you choose to stop, you're going to have a pretty much Mac Daddy tune that can take on anything. It's just a matter of where people are choosing to PvP at that time. Sometimes people say level 100, sometimes people say 120. We shall see. Right now in Dark Souls 3, I don't even know what level people are stopping because I've been out of that community for about 2 months. And I'm definitely looking forward to maxing out a few characters at the PvP level and interacting a little bit on that front. Those big giant PvP wars are just so much damn fun. It's just total complete chaos. And I don't quite know the rules on like who's supposed to hit who or what's like, you know, when people talk about like starting a fight club and all that kind of stuff. I need to do some more research on just PvP etiquette, because I'm a big fan of kind of following the rules, or at least if I break the rules, knowing when and where and how and why I'm breaking them. So here is the illusion of Guinevere, the goddess with the big giant bazumbas. But yeah, she is purty if you like kind of like beefy women, and I do. But sadly, she's not real. So I'm gonna blast her in the face. She's like, oh, and now Gwendolin's like, all right, motherfucker. And Orlando is no longer a place where you're allowed to chill. So what happens now is all the bad guys here disappear for the most part because they're all illusions, and a few guardians appear that Gwyndolin kills to kick my ass. Another thing, if there are any Darkmoon Blade Covenant people in the area, if they put on their ring to punish the guilty or whatever, they will automatically invade me. I mean, when I first joined the Darkmoon Blade, I immediately killed someone. And the reason I appeared in that dark kind of area was because the illusion had been shattered. So I am now permanently vulnerable to invasion from these people, which is fine though, because PvP is fun and makes the videos better. Also, as I mentioned, I guess in 2 videos ago, part of the thing that makes the Dark Souls community more fun is when people do things that allow the Covenants to have things to do. So if they're not some people creating excuses for Covenants to invade or punish you, then those people don't have any like role to play. So yeah, I always like to try and do as much to help on that front as possible. Now, well, I make a huge mistake here because I've got a couple bad guys to fight, and I haven't used or wielded a great scythe yet in combat, and I'm all excited that I have it, so I'm going to try swinging it a few times, but that guy just got wrecked by a soul spear and died really fast. But I should have definitely gone out and fought a few regular adds first before trying to use my great scythe in combat, especially against somebody who is hitting me for like 25% of my health every time he hits me with that fucking sword. He's a big, strong boy, and I'm just fighting like an idiot. There are times where I just get to the end of a video where I just start playing horribly, making stupid mistakes, and just not making smart decisions. So he did. There's one more guardian that I have to fight. When I first appeared in Under Orlando and went to the bonfire, that person's like, well, I'm a firekeeper homie or whatever, and kind of gives you some of the lay of the land. That person's Gwyndolин's buddy or servant, so Gwyndolin sends this person after me. And they have some big, elaborate thing they say. They're very theatrical. But you have to fight them at the bottom of this ramp. And in theory, they should be really, really powerful because of their vaulted position in this society. But if you have critical soul spear and intelligence 60, guess what? You are so fucked. 1,000 damage, just one-shotted. I didn't even get to finish here what he was going to say, but I got a Firekeeper soul out of that, which is awesome because now I will be able to take my blast to +5. Now that totally freaked me out. That's static. I decided to keep it in just because it scared the shit out of me. I don't know what was happening. It's probably something where the connection between my laptop and my Xbox got lost. Basically, I use this software called Game Capture. And so I have an HDMI cable running from my Xbox to this little Game Capture box. And then from there, I have another HDMI cable that runs into the TV. And then there's a USB cable that runs from the Game Capture box to my laptop. So one of those cords must have gotten loose, or maybe I'm just killing my Xbox or my computer by using this thing, but apparently it's the most recommended game capture device on the market. So if something breaks, it's not my fault. So now Gwyndolin, since Gwyndolin hates me now, I'll never be a Darkmoon Blade again. It is time just to go ahead and take on Gwyndolin. Now I should admit ahead of time, I really suck at Gwyndolin. At least I really suck at Gwyndolin on this first attempt. I always eventually have to kind of like relearn how to fight Gwyndolin. Some people just run down there and kill Gwyndolin like in 3 hits. I just don't know how they do it. I've watched the videos. It should be easy, but it's not. So, actually, how can I explain the fight? Gwyndolin will continue to teleport backwards down a long hallway. The hallway's not endless, but it seems endless. Eventually, you will come to an end of it if you live long enough. And Gwyndolin has 3 attacks. Got these crossbow attacks, which are the easiest ones because you can just block them. They will shred you, but you can block them with your shield. Then there is an attack with a bunch of the little teeny tiny, like soul spear type things that you can roll and dodge and get behind walls. And those are really, really, they hit really, really hard as well, but they're also pretty easy to dodge and you can hide behind walls. And then Gwyndolin has the most powerful attack, which is just this big, gigantic, like soul spear of death, the size of like a fucking boulder. And you can see him charging up, and when he shoots it, it just comes straight at you, and it will go through walls, it'll go through shields. You gotta roll and dodge it, or you're gonna lose half your health. So what you do is you just keep working your way closer and closer and closer to Dark Sun Gwyndolin, and when you get close, you can usually get 1 hit off. So you want to do like a big power shot. What I made the mistake of doing here was coming in, wielding my great scythe, because I was all excited about it. But I don't have enough stamina yet, or endurance, whatever, for carrying this much gear and moving at full speed, which really screws me up because I've been playing this entire playthrough, being able to run and roll at a certain speed, and now my timing's all off, which is a huge mistake. You don't want to suddenly make a major change in your character right before a boss fight. This is the point where I should have jumped and leaped. You don't, I mean, I got a hit in, but not a huge hit, and that wasn't a ton of damage. Obviously, the lightning side is not going to be the weapon of death that I thought it was going to be. So, but yeah, that's the crossbow attack. And if you just kind of move at an angle as you're walking up, you can pretty much dodge all the arrows. But that is the easy attack. You see how I did a kind of half slow roll, which stunned me, and then it made it so I didn't get my attack in. And now, because it's late at night and I'm getting frustrated, I start making a bunch of mistakes. because my most powerful shit obviously is Crystal Soul Spear. So the goal is to get close to Gwyndolin, target, and then blast. But I just, I don't even know if Gwyndolin can be targeted, because whenever I get close, by the time you target, I mean, that's me. I was trying to shoot early, and he just made me pay for it with a crossbow to the face, which was not good. Yeah, this is just errors piled upon errors, stupidity piled upon stupidity. Poor planning, poor execution, poor gameplay. And it's a miracle that I've lived this long. Some people like to put on a better shield than this, but so that you'll lose less of your poise or stability when you get hit. But I like this shield for this fight because it has stamina on it, which allows me to run fast. And once again, I mean, there's no point in running up to Gwyndolin if you're not going to get a shot off. So get a spell off, get a swing off, but otherwise you're just taking shots and losing your flasks for no reason and getting frustrated. So take your time, and when you get up to him, then sprint and get a spell off or a shot off every time. So a jump and leap attack with a slow weapon is what I recommend. And look at that shit. I'm just so bad at this fight. But I redeemed myself. Like I said, the whole reason I got up and did this video is because I was so mad at myself for this piss poor showing of gameplay that I did a little research before going to bed last night and found a better strategy, and was so excited to put it to work that when I got up, I decided just to immediately dive into it. But you have to put up with a little bit more idiocy. I decided just to let my shame and misfortune play in its entirety, just so you can learn from all my mistakes. But it's, you know, it's a cool fight, and it's also, if you're a faith build, it's an essential fight because, whoa, I'm dead. If you're a faith build, there's gear at the end that you absolutely have to have, like the Sunlight Blade. Sunlight Blade is by far the most powerful faith build weapon buff. It's fucking awesome. So this is me frustrated. Another thing that's annoying is when you die to Gwyndolin, you don't reappear back at the bonfire by Gwyndolin. You reappear back at the first bonfire in Orlando, because Gwyndolin's got control over this whole area. And she's like, fuck you can't use my bonfire. And what's even more annoying is you walk down here and like, oh, I can't summon the fucking elevator from here. And so then what you have to do is you got to run all the way back up, and then you can go to, you know what, the thing is, I can't even use this bonfire to teleport here because I killed that firekeeper. So this bonfire is dead to me. So this is me putting on some lighter armor, just trying to get my equipment down to the point where I can fast roll again. You have to run back up to the beginning of the Duke's Archives and then teleport down. So yeah, it's super annoying. Like Gwyndolin's like, look, not only are you no longer buddies with me, like you're no longer welcome in this zone. So at this point I realized it was too late, I was too stupid, I was making too many mistakes. So you'll see the video kind of like, wait, if you're not seeing, there's no trick. I quit the game, and this is me today. So this is after a 4 or 5 hour nap. Back in action with a new game plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, fuck the Scythe, and use my enchanted dagger. I'm going to put on my normal superhero gear so that I can run and roll at the speed at which I'm accustomed, because if you can't run and roll in this room, you might as well not even be in here. Got him a good shield, and I'm going to attune some very different spells. I haven't used any of these spells yet, but I bought them, so I might as well use them. There is a perfect magic weapon or secret weapon for me that I've got, like, why I didn't think of this in the first place is beyond me. But I have the Homing Soul Mass and the Crystal Homing Soul Mass, which are insanely powerful spells because I don't have to cast them when I'm close. It's not like I have to run up to Gwyndolin and then cast them. I can cast them, have my little balls floating over my head, run up to Gwyndolin, and they'll just shoot. And so Gwyndolin's totally fucked because Gwyndolin is basically waiting for me to get close enough to swing or shoot. And that spell is not about to wait for Gwyndolin to kind of like figure out what's happening. So anyway, when I did a little research last night, I felt like an idiot that I didn't think about that, because with intelligence 60, homing Crystal Soul Mass, I mean, if you remember when I fought Big Hat Logan, it one-shotted me. It was fucking crazy how powerful it was. So granted, it technically is like a 5-shot because it's 5 little balls. The only flaw to it is that if you cast it too early, the balls slowly disappear as you go. And so you definitely don't want to, like, you don't want to cast it here, because by the time I get down, there's gonna be like 1 or 2 left. So, and this is not a flawless attempt. I still get hit by a lot of dumb shit, as you can tell. And when I get hit, it's so humiliating because I like stagger back and fall, and anyway, I was starting to worry that I was gonna do it again. But yeah, chug-a-lug-a-lug, heal up. Still got 3 of my little balls, and he shot me in the face with the fucking crossbow. I mean, I suck at this fight. But as you're about to tell, I'm about to see. Boom! I mean, almost half his health is gone with 1 spell. So at that point, I was like, all right, this fight is officially like the easiest fight in the game. The only thing that's getting in my way is my own stupidity, because I keep getting hit in the face by that giant blast that he does, which is totally avoidable, but not for me, because I'm just... Ooh, whoa. Yeah, I meant to cast another spell, but those things just started shooting on their own, and yeah, I got some hits in anyway. So yeah, I didn't even have to equip both of my crystal soul both soul masses, just one of them, and he is doomed. And I just decided to close, roll away, and Dox and Gwyndolin are done. So see, super easy fight. I guess it is. I can't tell if it's a dude or girl. Gwyndolin sounds like a girl's name, but who knows? Cool looking boss, very fun encounter, and now this hallway, the illusion of it will disappear and it goes back to normal. And the best thing is, I only died once, so I can retrieve my souls from my first encounter. There they are. If you die and come back, you cannot retrieve during the fight. You got to get to the end of the hallway. So yeah, if you die, you're screwed. Anyway, 40,000 souls, not bad. And I'm about to get some pretty cool gear down here at the end. Yeah, I mean, they always say like a good night's sleep can do wonders. That wasn't even a good night's sleep. That was a half night's sleep and just a little bit of homework, and I came back here with a winning strategy. That's what it's all about. So there are 2 treasure chests in here. One is a gear set. If you like kind of like plate, kind of like pally outfits, this is a pretty cool outfit. Let's see what it is. Yeah, the brass set. It's real heavy, but if you want to be like a faith build, like for me, I guess when I think of like kind of like classic faith build archetypes, you're like kind of like rocking out wearing. That's an empty treasure chest. That's kind of strange. Like when I think of like old school D&D, clerics and paladins always wore like plate armor and would kind of run around in that stuff. But I don't know, you have to waste so many stats on getting up to the point where you can wear the heavy gear, and if you're chucking lightning bolts, I just feel like you're gonna want to be able to keep your distance. So yeah, when I played my faith build through, I kept light gear on the entire time, and I was very, very happy. But in terms of role play and like playing characters that kind of satisfy my imagination, I would like to have a faith build that wears heavy armor. It just seems like I don't have to waste so many stats to make that happen. Although maybe at some point I'll just level up a faith build and just like level it up to like 200 in Dark Souls 3. And that way I can just run around. It wouldn't be very viable in terms of PvP or meeting other characters, but I could just run around admiring the build that I've created. But it sounds like a lot of time to be invested. So I'm just going to rearrange my spells a bit, because I all of a sudden realized, you know, I never run out of spells. There's no reason to have like 75 spells, and so why not just have some the crystal soul mass ready to go. And now also what I need to remember to do is start saving up to buy one last remaining soul spear. There is still a soul spear spell to be bought for 40,000 back in the Firekeeper Shrine with that spellcaster student dude, but I just keep forgetting that it's there because I never run out of spells. But having another soul spear would be advantageous, especially against Manus, that motherfucker. I want to have my A game and my most powerful spells ready to go to beat the hell out of him when I fight him. I'm a little worried about him, although he's only killed me a few times. So now what I'm going to do is be a very, very evil, horrible person. It is time to get my last Firekeeper soul. So I'm going to basically kill this covenant. I don't need any of these spells. I'm done with pyromancy. I never even did pyromancy. I never even bothered to upgrade my gloves, so yeah. Here she is. Hack her a few times. She gets pissed. She dies. And her little guardian will come after you. One thing I forgot about the guardian, though, is these guys, when they die, they don't just die. They turn into these little disgusting parasite things that will completely fuck you up if you let them gang up on you. Especially when there's like 5 of them. They just will attack you from all sides. So I probably could have just used normal spells to take them out. I'm just having so much fun with my new Crystal Soul Mass that I decided to use it. Take them out. It's a super, super slow spell used like this. What you're supposed to do is cast it, then go into a fight, and That way, while you're rolling or getting in position, you can be attacking a boss or whatever without having to waste any time. There's one last little maggot worm thing I got to kill. Another thing is now this this bonfire is now dead because the firekeeper is dead. So that is part of the sacrifice you make. But I don't need this bonfire anymore, so fuck them. So I'm just going to run down to the other bonfire that's down around the corner. So yeah, I am rapidly running out of original Dark Souls content to do on this playthrough, which is fine. I've gotten powerful as hell, and I am more than ready for the DLC. I've got plenty of power for going into that. So yeah, Demon Ruins, use this. 2 things left to do. I am going to finish Siegmeyer's quest, and I'm going to go kill that Drake, because that Drake, he's, you know, we're old homies. I met him at the very beginning of the playthrough, and he dove down in front of me when I was like a level 3 sorcerer, and it's time to wrap that up. So here is Siegmeyer's daughter. She's just chilling. She says that Siegmeyer basically has come back, and he's back off adventuring again. And because I've never done this, I just want to talk to her again just to be on the safe side. But this is a little weird. She says, if he goes hollow, just have to kill him again. I was like, huh? But anyway, I've never finished this quest line, so I don't know where it's going. But I just wanted to make sure I had done everything I need to do. Because I watched another playthrough where somebody had finished it, I wasn't really paying attention, but I know where he is gone. I guess if it's the first people who played Dark Souls, they would just have to accidentally find him. So luckily I know where he is gone, but check that out. Estus Flask +6. My heals are going to be beastly, and they are officially now maxed out. So I've got maxed out heals for the entire DLC. That is not bad. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Putting on... Oh, I'm just checking to see, because I put a point into endurance. I'm checking to see. I need to get my equipment load up to a little over 64 before I can wield the great scythe and not be slowed down. And so, anyway, I don't know if I'm going to put too much time into that or not, because what I could be doing is putting points into my health. Taking my health to 40 might be a better use, but I might as well just fuck with it a bit, because health 35 is probably fine. I can probably finish the game with that pretty easily. So he's gone down to the Ash Lake, but you can't teleport to the bonfire that he uses at the Ash Lake. You can only teleport to where the Dragon Covenant is. So you've seen me down here before. There's no reason to watch me run through this big, long, horrible place, so I'm just going to fast forward through it. There's a few little clam guys that I fight along the way, but you don't need to see that either. So I'm just having fun with a new spell. They don't quite one-shot him like a Soul Spear would, but one more dagger shot and it finishes him off. So yeah, between the choice of casting a Soul Spear in combat or Crystal Soul Mass isn't quite as strong, but I can cast 10 of them, and I can cast one before the beginning of a fight, so that is going to be huge for my boss fights henceforth, because Artorias beat the hell out of me on one of my plays. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was my... I had read somewhere that Artorias was resistant to faith magic. It's like, alright, well then I gotta fight Artorias the real way. And I just got worked. And then finally I was like, alright, I'm just gonna see what my lightning spells do. And my lightning spells didn't do that much damage, but my faith build at that point was so strong they didn't really matter. And so Artorias then got really easy and I one-shotted him. But yeah, Artorias, I'll go into all that when I get there. Anyway, poor Siegmeyer's dead, and that's that. But what's cool about finishing this plotline, you get to see that this cool kind of dramatic cinematic shot, which I'll be using for the image for the video. But you get one more Titanite slab, and if you know, I would have preferred to get some chunks, but I'll take a slab because you never know what I might want to upgrade. But yeah, at this point I need chunks to finish up my great side. But Titanite slab, those are pretty rare and hard to come by. There's only a couple in the game, and that is one of them. So boom. Siegmeyer's quest is finished. Booyakasha. So I have this wonderful giddy feeling of completion. Last thing for my original content playthrough is to go fuck up that dragon. What I recommend, you don't have to do this, but I recommend putting on some flame resist gear and a flame resist ring, because what the dragon likes to do is fly up and blast down, and if you're underneath the blast when he does that, even when you're powerful, it can pretty much kill you. So I recommend putting on some fire resist gear because he doesn't have that much health. It's just a matter of hitting him when he's on the ground. Yes, I'm going to keep probably the same shield on because my shield right now, Grass Crest Shield's got pretty good fire resist. But the Gold Hem Black Cloak has got awesome fire resist, so I'm just going to put on those pieces. I'm going to leave on my my headpiece because I just want my spells to do more damage if and when they hit the Drake. And I'm definitely going to put on my fire resist ring because without the fire attacks, this dragon's kind of a joke. I mean, he can still like push you around and he'll fly up in the air and he's hard to hit, but it's the one-shot fire attack that you have to be aware of. Anywho, I've seen some people kill this guy way earlier in the game, but anyway, I feel like it's kind of fitting that I kill him last before moving on to the DLC because I'm back in kind of like the old school original content now. My favorite part of the game by far is this big giant castle. It's so goddamn cool. So we run on this bridge. He will eventually come in. I think he comes from the opposite side. I'm getting in position, just looking for him, not seeing him. So I got here fighting, but I saw the shadow. I was like, oh fuck! So I knew he was. So here he comes. Sometimes you need to use an arrow to taunt him and make him come out from his little perched spot. Sometimes he'll just come and try and get you. So I'm just gonna equip my bow right quick and get ready to pepper him with arrows and bring him over my way. So he must have known what I was thinking because he just comes on down. So I'm casting my Crystal Soul Mass, locking on, missed. I didn't even know it was possible for that thing to miss. I guess it is possible. It keeps missing. So that is his big dangerous attack that will pretty much one-shot you if you don't have a whole lot of health. I probably could have been meleeing him right here, but I'm just trying to hit him with my powerful shit, and I'm missing every time. That, once again, should have hit him, but it missed him. I think if he's blasting his fire, he must be invulnerable because every time I try to shoot while he's shooting his fire, I either get knocked back or nothing happens. But, you know, full breath up in the face. Takes half of my health, so I still got to be somewhat on guard fighting this motherfucker. Finally, boom. Yeah, one spell hit him. It took nearly half his health, so at that point I realized this fight was basically a done deal. I just needed to stay alive long enough for my spells to eventually catch up with him. The fire just keeps knocking you around, so it makes it very hard to heal. But it's cool if you have your soul masses up and he gets close to you. The soul masses will just attack for you. Boom, 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 boom. So that was nice. And he's not even worth that many souls, but I just, for the sake of completion, I just like knowing that he's done. So anyway, boom, he's dead. That is the end of Dark Souls Classic. It is time to go into Dark Souls DLC. So you have now seen everything there is to do in the original Dark Souls, one of the all-time great games. I imagine when this game first, when people who cleared it for the first time, when it first came out in real time, must have been pretty goddamn pleased. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that because I still haven't killed Gwyn. I always think of Gwyn as being not part of the original thing because I always kill him after the DLC. Because when you kill Gwyn, you immediately go into New Game Plus. You can't do the DLC. But technically, Gwyn is part of the original Dark Souls game. So scratch all that. Still got to kill Gwyn. But I am going to go kill Artorias, Calamite, and Manus first. And I'm not going to use the Soul of Gwyndolin to make a weapon. The only weapon I'm going to make is the one with the Soul of Manus. So I need a few more souls to pass the level. Moron than I am, I should have used these to buy the last remaining Soul Spear, but I forgot it exists. So I put a lot of my point to Endurance, but that's alright. When I get to 40,000 next, I will go buy. Because the very first thing you do in the DLC is you fight a boss. So I will be getting a lot of souls very soon. Anywho, to go to the DLC, the closest bonfire I can think of you can teleport to is the Undead Parish, because you got to go down to that lake where you fought the first Hydra boss. And out there's a little portal that we're going to go through. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I apologize if I was a little sleep deprived and weird. Please subscribe to my channel, hit like, all that good stuff. Give me a shout out on Twitter @Colbrax. And I'll be doing the rest of the content this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching.